Oof, what a long day it's been, guys. Wow, we got other channels up. You're gonna have to find them, though. I ain't gonna tell you. You're just gonna have to find it. Once you find it, you'll know. You'll hear my voice. You know my flavor. You know my style. We're all over the place right now. I got more YouTube channels than I got freaking, I don't know, fingers and toes. I don't know. I got them all over the place, man. This is what we gotta do. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? Duck and cover. Gotta fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And speaking of flying like a butterfly and stinging like a bee, I need to do some stinging right now myself. Richard Hart, you're a piece of shit, straight up. The audacity of you coming out with that tweet talking about people need to say they're sorry or something if they ever talked about a crypto that went bad. Well, what about your shit? I mean, what about your Pulsechain? Your shit literally went straight to zero. But no, it did a 10,000x. It didn't even release yet. No, it did a 10,000x. You don't get it. 0 times 10,000, zero, you see? You're out of gas, boy and girls. I don't know what else to tell you. We got beat. He got up early in the morning. The guy's a genius. I always pride myself on it. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to get over on me because I see the angles. I always have, I got that duality. I have that street smarts and I got the book smarts, and it's coming pretty handy in my life. And the one thing, I may be a lot of things, but one thing I am is where I'm not is a mark. I don't get conned like that. It's very hard because I see all the angles and I'm very, very, very cynical. So, and suspicious. It's hard for me to believe anybody, and especially people that want my money. But you know what? I fell into the FOMO of the hex, and that's why they call me FOMO, right? Because that's what I do. And I'm not mad at myself, and I don't blame myself. I believed in something and I went for it. I believed in somebody and I went for it. And it turned out that seems like he's a total piece of shit right now. So while he's sitting there writing free self-help books, do as I say, not as I do books, I mean, we all can do that. What makes him so special? He developed a product, probably had help somehow or another behind the scenes. And I noticed that the Hex crew is really, really getting quiet right now on Twitter. I don't see too many Pulsechain to $1 million. And, where's all that? What happened? What happened? You suckered a bunch of people into a sacrifice, and in the name of something like freedom of speech, freedom of movement, neither of which you believe in, because clearly you don't feel like you can move freely because you talked all that shit about coming to America. Yeah, you ended up coming here allegedly, and then you went home. But I mean, it was a problem for you. You couldn't even go to Best Buy and spend 10 grand, which like most people can usually do. I mean, that's what you do at Best Buy is you go there and you spend, you could spend 10 grand on a TV there. Shit, they got freaking, grills, electric grills, probably cost 10 grand. I don't know, but I'm sure you could, between a couch and a TV, you're spending 10 grand, easy. And I'm sure people do it all the time. But when Richard Hart, the smartest man in crypto, the dude who did not call the Bitcoin top on the day, he still wants to go out there and say that. Bro, you're a con. He's a con. Confidence, right? That's what I had. I had confidence in this guy. And I forgot that the beginning of confidence spells con. So, you know what, bro? Congratulations, you got me. But please, don't talk about other people. Like, what are you doing at this point? Right now, you're just being a complete sack of shit, right? You dress like shit. You talk like shit. The only thing different between you and I is that you got all that money, and that does not make you a better person. You may be winning better at the game of life than I am, but I assure you, the things that I value, they're not money, and they're worth a lot more than any amount of money that you could have, because I know spiritually I'm in a much better place. I can just tell. And this guy feels the need. It's like a cry for acceptance, and I've always said that. The one thing that I've always talked about was that he yearns for acceptance. He needs constant validation. And it's gotten so bad that he thinks he needs to go and start talking all urban and stuff. This is the man who tries to school people in the chat about their English, right? Remember that? Remember them days in his streams? He would say, why don't you try to learn English? Why don't you do English better? Making fun of people that were foreigners that were trying to communicate, doing the best they can. He used to break them down, but yet he spends a week allegedly in Florida. He says Miami area, which there are places that are rough in Miami, but I just don't see why you go and then you come back and you turn it on and off. You're a public figure. You're reaching out to these people all the time. How come you weren't doing that before on your streams when you were selling people pipe dreams? Why? because you knew it wouldn't play. So now you're going into the shock marketing phase, and you shocked the hell out of everybody, you know, and you marketed that shit right into the ground. And you know what? Congratulations. I guess that's what you want to do. You know, so many people, when I brought this up previously, and I had a buddy tell me about it, and when we brought it up, that, you know, he was leverage trading years past, losing his ass, you know, crying for help. No one talks about that because no one knew who this dude was previously. First thing that most, like 95% of the people out there, unless you're really kind of a crypto OG, then you might remember him. Like myself, you know, I remember the name, and I remember this dude, you know, the stories about him leverage trading and stuff. But even me, like, there's a point where I just don't remember him. You know, as far as him being synonymous with like Satoshi Nakamoto, I would say he's more synonymous with Kwon at this point. No doubt about it. You shock marketed your shit to the point where no one wants to support you. It doesn't matter how low it goes. Maybe one day Hex will become a stable coin. Maybe that was the idea all along. Because I mean, if it hangs out around what? Maybe it'll go to a penny, stay around a penny. Maybe it becomes stable at a penny. Yeah, and then what? You're gonna get that 38%. Not if people aren't still buying. Listen, if it becomes a stable coin, boy, that's a problem. Because that means that you ain't getting a lot of people to FOMO in. You're getting just enough people to FOMO in that are fudding out or FOMOing out once their stakes undo. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you unfollowed Trevon, right? You unfollowed Trevon. This is a game of high stakes poker this man is playing, and it's starting to look like this was a setup on some kind of other level, you know, like actually like vacuuming money out of the ecosystem. But y'all don't understand that. Y'all ain't ready for that. This seems to me just like crypto in general. Always wondered when these people got liquidated, when you get liquidated, or when you lose in these big trades, who's cleaning this up? Who's making all these smart contracts? Who's coming up with all these coins, all these scams? And then where does the money go? You're gonna tell me this is just, you know, random developers learn how to crypto? Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh man, software is hard and stuff, right? Nah, man, you got to pay tribute to Caesar. You know, somewhere along the line, they're pulling money out of the ecosystem. I used to think it was going to places like maybe like an adversarial country or a alleged adversarial country, North Korea. You know, that's what they tell us. Ooh, the big bad North Koreans, boogeyman, the Chinese, right? Now it's the Russians, right? The Ruskies. There's always someone. I mean, I've even heard of Ukrainians being in this shit too. Oh my God, don't talk about that. No, not the Ukrainians. Yeah, the Ukrainians. But, you know, where's that money going? They're trading it in. They're trading it in for the future of money, the stable coin that's coming. Guys, I don't know what it's going to be called. I've heard rumors like USDR, some shit like this. You can't buy it, though. I can't buy it, though. But you know what? If you're registered and you're tapped, you can buy it, allegedly, right? Allegedly. But I mean, the writing's on the wall. It doesn't have to be called a CBDC. It's just something that people are used to hearing. They may go ahead and name it CBDC, but at the end of the day, it probably has another name. It's probably like a dollar reserve or something like that. Look for the euro and the pound and the dollar to get into parity. And when they fall into parity, they're all worth the same thing. That would probably be the best time to do this big changeover. And I'm thinking that so much of this fiat money that you use, that you send through Coinbase or whatever, and you put it in the crypto system only never to pull it back out because you've lost, right? And then the big winners, the big whales, you know, the ones I call like the whales, like God whales, you know, those type. Yeah, you know, they're putting it into this alternative, this next level currency because they know what's coming. Listen, if they got that much stupid cash, if you're sitting on billions of dollars, you know what's coming, right? You know how to protect that. You wouldn't have it if you didn't know how to protect it, right? It's one thing to, you know, like hit the lottery and you fall into like $1 million or something like that. It's another thing to go ahead and be able to like acquire, you know, over time, billions of dollars. Once you get to that level, man, you're in a whole nother category, right? You're in a different kind of club. It doesn't make you better than anybody else, maybe financially and on paper, but spiritually, morally, you know, inside, what really does count, I mean shit, bro. You ain't got no heart, bro. You got no heart. I don't even know why you name yourself Richard Hart, because the one last thing you got is heart. That's the last thing you got. Sucker.